morning. Welcome, Bobby.
Thank you, Tapan. Morning. Good to be back with the group.
Bobby, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? What do you do exactly?
I'm a senior food safety specialist with Dubai Municipality. I've been with Dubai Municipality since 2005, so just completed my 20th year. Had a great journey with food safety department so far. Started off with the food code and person in charge program, all the way to food watch and month G plus, kind of the digital programs that we work on today.
Great. Fireside chat. If you want to understand where the origin of this term lies, you'll have to go back long before even I was born. It was 1930s. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt of the United States, he gave a series of radio addresses to the nation and the world between 1933 and 1944. And his press secretary, Stephen Early, once gave this statement that the president liked to think he was talking to a few people around by his fireside. So that's where this term comes from. And ideally, a fireside chat should be unusual, interesting, and therefore, I'm going to ask Bobby some questions even he doesn't know. He knows the answer to them, but he doesn't know what I'm going to ask. So, Bobby, how did you enter your line of work?
Well, I was always interested in food and agriculture. So I did my graduation in agriculture and then specialized in food safety after doing my food science. And during my food science program in Australia, I was introduced to a lot of new programs there. It was very interesting, challenging, looking at organisms, how they cause food poisoning. And there was always an interest in public health and how we can support people to reduce burden of illness. So that's how I ended up in food safety. And once we got to Dubai, then food service industry became the core of work. And then it was just a roll-on effect, you know?
No, absolutely. Food safety is, I take that very seriously in our business. I feel that this element of the business is the most important. If you don't look after this aspect, the roof comes down. Next question. If someone wanted to enter your line of work, which 3 advices you would give them?
I think one is the public health perspective of things. We are here to protect people. So there is no competition when it comes to protection of public health, and we always say food safety is non-competitive in nature. If one restaurant has a problem, it affects the whole industry. So when you have an outbreak with a burger, people stop eating burgers, but not necessarily one particular chain, right? So the same impacts happens for anything and anyone. So I think understanding public health and how it impacts humans is a very important aspect that people who are getting into this industry should know. This is not a very lucrative business because you're not working on profits, but it's always good to work with a company that's good or a government organization. If you have interest today, I think there's no restriction on entering the food safety field from any angle. I think last 7 or 8 years of my work, I've been working on the digital transformation side, so very little aspect on science. You go back to foundation, which is like food science or microbiology, etc. But a lot of the work is on how you work with your IT team on coding or getting your meetings on developing new platforms, etc. And I've seen that there are a lot of people who are kind of cross-functional today getting into this field as well. So any preparation is good, provided you have an inclination to public health.
Thank you. Tell us about a couple of great initiatives taken by your team at Dubai Municipality, say, in the last couple of years.
I think I'll talk about some of the unique ones. Our food code is very unique. We started working on it in 2009 and published the first version in 2013. And this is probably one of the only codes which tells you why you need to do something. So we have the legislations, and then the code also specifies what's the rationale behind cooking at 75 or holding at 60. So if you read the code well, you actually know your work better. We started the Food Watch program in 2017. Now we're working on the new version, which will be launched in a couple of weeks. So that's the first digital food safety management system. Businesses do not have to maintain paper-based records anymore. And if you're maintaining paper-based records, you need to really think why you want to do so. It's very likely that it is not necessary what they're doing. Either they've not understood the concept well, or they've not understood digitalization. So we are probably the only government in the world where you can completely operate digitally when it comes to food safety. Yes, there are certification systems that have been working at the back end where you would have physical documentation moving in, but still, most aspects can be managed. We also have the new platform for trade called Montagy, where we have a risk-based framework which works on AI tools. It prioritizes our inspections at the port. It prioritizes what has to be inspected, what has to be less inspected, what has to be tested before releasing, etc., which I think is, again, a very unique concept. There are countries which are doing it, but what we're doing is really super smart.
And as we run out of time, we really want to understand the role of tech and AI as you see from your perspective in food safety.
And I was just watching the video before, and tech industry is really merged with the food service and food business as such. And there are so many aspects where we are dealing with tech in production, in processing, and in distribution and service, but very little on food safety. And I think we've pioneered as Dubai Municipality in bringing that technology element into the food safety, and we're kind of working on that more better now. So that is one area we are investing heavily on, both intellectually and technologically. So our human interaction is also getting better. By requiring every food business to go digital, we are enhancing that competency among individuals, which is essential for our next move. If we want to embrace AI, we have to go with an understanding of its capabilities and also what could go wrong, right? So that's what we're prepared for. We are looking also at an age of agentic AI where processes would be autonomous. Now, we may not, as food safety regulators, dealing with any humans in processing at some point of time, or maybe not. But we have to be prepared to that phase where we have to make the machines accountable, right? And for that, we need machines. So we are also studying how agentic AI can be used to optimize food safety. And these are early works, and we would start to see these results only in 2030 or later. But it's important to get those going. So we also we're also trying to make it more interesting so that we can attract new people onto the food safety domain, and also make it easier for businesses to adopt and also make informed decisions on food safety.
Great. If you could change a couple of things about policy making, what would those be?
Oh, tough one. I think it's constantly evolving, and I'm a big fan of agility when it comes to policy making. And we are in the place where policy making is really, really agile. We absorb problems into the system, but we create solutions very quickly. So at this moment, I would say no radical changes, but I would definitely say that we have to increase accountability for certain aspects, like allergen management. And we've seen an increasing concern from food businesses, especially food service, not taking accountability when it comes to allergen management. We are a tourist-centered place, and people come in from different countries. It's important to give people with allergies and intolerances what they want. And I think that's that's kind of a weak point for us. And we get complaints, and we also see that businesses are providing disclaimers. Most of my products have allergens, so that would be telling the guest that you cannot eat anything from here. So I think that's one area where we would need substantially changes. But otherwise, I think we're doing well.
I think your contribution to hygiene and food safety in the restaurant industry in the UAE is priceless. Please continue to contribute that you do to the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the entire Food Watch program, in fact, the whole food safety infrastructure in the UAE, in Dubai and UAE, Bobby has been instrumental, and thank you, Bobby, for coming here. And please keep all the residents and tourists safe. Thank you.
Yep.